Alright guys, welcome to the video. So today I'm going to be talking about something that's really important to me. As you guys know, I'm a sniper. That's what my channel is based around. That's why I play Phantom Forces, but I'm going to be telling you guys why I think snipers desperately need a buff. And you can agree with me or you can disagree with me, but the one thing I will ask for you guys is that you watch the full video before you make a comment. And I do encourage you guys to comment your opinions on this, but you know, just at least watch the video, see where I'm coming from if you want to agree or disagree with me. And I just want to apologize in advance if this is sort of a rant video, but I feel like this is something that I need to do. It's something that's actually really important to me, so I'm just basically gonna get into it. So Stylus did make a tweet responding to someone who is complaining about the snipers. So they said in response to this guy, sorry you feel that way, maybe snipers need some love. How do you feel about an update around an introduction of a straight pull bolt attachment and the ability to choose from a variety of scopes? And this is definitely good. I think they're in the right track here. If you don't know what a straight pull bolt attachment would be, it would basically give you the ability to scope in while you're bolting your sniper. And this is something that actually existed in the game back in 2018 and like before that. You could scope in while your gun was bolting, and you could also insta swap back then too. But since then they've removed those, so it's made snipers essentially like way worse. It wasn't really a direct nerf, but it still nerfed the guns like way too much. And since then I think they have tried to compensate for this. I think they did increase the bolting time for like 3 of the snipers, and then they went and decreased it back. I'm not sure if that's completely true. That's just what I remember, but yeah, I haven't seen them do anything for snipers in terms of buffing them in literally the entire like year and a half that I've played. I just can't think of anything. I can only think of the nerfs. Recently, they did actually nerf the snipers. That they sort of like indirectly nerf them again. If you didn't know this, the snipers used to be able to one-shot, or like any gun, used to be able to get a headshot across the whole width of the torso where your head is. So it used to be a 2-stud headshot range, but they recently decreased that to where like you can only get a headshot if you hit the middle of the torso, which is like where the head is. So it went from a 2-stud hitbox to a 1-stud hitbox, which I mean, I've definitely seen that like impact my sniping. I've been sniping a little bit worse. As much as you want to say that it's easy to use snipers because all you have to do is hit one headshot, you're gonna be wrong, because like hitting a headshot is actually like harder than it seems, especially when you're going up against people who are like moving in such directions that like they don't even know what they're doing. But yeah, my point for that is basically that snipers have been getting nerfed ever since I can remember, back in like middle 2018. And I think most people will agree with this. But then you look at guns like, you know, autos and shotguns. There's so much you can do to make those better. And they added ammo types a couple of years ago, maybe like 2 years ago, or maybe a little bit less than that. But they've added so many things that you can improve. Like, you can improve autos with. You can improve shotguns with. You can add flechette, birdshot, slugs. You can add AP. You can add what's the other one called? Hollow point. Yeah, you can add all those things. You can add grips. You can add muzzle attachments. You can literally add anything to make your autos or your shotguns better. But the only thing that can make the snipers better is increasing the speed. And here's where my point comes in. So you have guns like the Intervention with a bolt. And once again, this doesn't, did I mention this earlier? I'm only going to be talking about bolt action snipers. I think I did forget to mention this. So my apologies, but I was going to mention that at the beginning. I've recorded for this several times, and I've mentioned it every time, but okay, that's besides the point. So for a bolt action sniper, you have a fire rate. The fire rate for the Intervention is like 35 or 30 or something, and on paper, that's how fast it shoots. You can shoot 30 rounds per minute with the Intervention. But when you actually take a look at that, the only thing that makes snipers worth using is the ability to scope in, because snipers are meant for long range kills, so you're not going to be expected to no scope everyone. And because you cannot scope in while you're bolting, it takes an extra like second, especially with the Intervention. The scope and speed is disgustingly slow, but it takes an extra that like however many seconds it takes to scope in, and then your fire rate decreases from 30 to like 20. So this just, it doesn't make any sense. If you're gonna have the fire rate be 30, allow us to scope in and be able to like line up our shot so that we can actually shoot people at 30 rounds per minute. Because with an auto, you can hold the trigger and then it'll fire at the true fire rate. All I'm asking for is for snipers to be able to fire at their true fire rate. I'm not even necessarily asking for an increase in fire rate, because I don't know if that would make it too much better. Like, if you increase the Intervention fire rate, it would definitely make the Intervention way better, but I'm saying if you allow us to scope in while bolting. That would mean the world to us. Like, especially feeders, it just seems so irrational to not like acknowledge the fact that snipers just are too slow. Like, I could get killed like 4 times in the time it takes me from one intervention shot to like scope in another intervention shot. It's literally that slow. And if you really take a look into this, like, you don't see that in high ranked snipers. You only see that in the low ranked snipers. Like, you see the M107, the SVDS, the Mosin, the Scout. Those are a few exceptions, but they're generally the faster snipers are the ones up top. But when you're a new player and you're coming to the game and you want to snipe, unless you come from another sniping community, you're going to take a look at the intervention, and then you're going to take a look at like the Colt LMG, the M4A1, the AK-12, literally any other rank 0 gun. Even the MK11. The MK11's insane. But if you compare the intervention to any of those guns, the intervention loses every time, every single time. It's just not fair. It's not fair for people who want to snipe. And I feel like if you take a look at like Phantom Forces' like statistics, you can see back in 2017 they were thriving. They were one of the best games on Roblox. They were one of the most like played games on Roblox. But now I feel like the only people playing Phantom Forces are the people who have always been playing Phantom Forces. I don't think the new people stick around. That's why you see so many tryhards in game. I don't think anyone who's new to the game will take a look at the intervention and be like, yeah, I think this is worth using over the Colt LMG. I'm gonna use this. No, that just doesn't happen. That's just, you're living in a dream world. I feel like by allowing the snipers to be better, by allowing them to be back to where they once were, you'd think you'd attract more people, right? It seems like it makes sense to me. I don't know about you guys, but that seems like it makes sense to me. I just think that there's no way that you can compete with a lot of the guns. Like, let's take a look at the HK21. It fires at one of the highest fire rates in the game with one of the highest damages, and all you need to do is a little bit of recoil management with that. But with an intervention, you can't even like see people because you're being sprayed at, and the screen shake is insane. Like, if you've ever been sprayed at while scoped in, you will realize how really bad it is. Like, I don't know if they've increased the suppression. I feel like they did. I have a strong feeling they did, but it's almost impossible to shoot at someone while you're being sprayed at. It's literally like, it's almost unplayable. I'm not saying it is unplayable, but I'm definitely saying there's so much of a skill gap between snipers and autos that you have to give the snipers a chance. Like, anyone can really pick up the Colt LMG and they can do like quite decent, but I don't think anyone can just pick up the intervention or the Remington 700 or the AWS, and they just can't really compete with stuff like that. It's not fair to new players, and it's not fair to people who like are genuinely interested in sniping. Now, I'm sort of advocating for those of us who use snipers without camping. Like, a lot of people just camp in the corner of desert or the corner of dunes or the corner of highway, and they just sit there with their, their BFG ballistics tracker, and they just snipe people from a million steads away, and they don't move an inch the whole round. That's not what I'm advocating for. I'm advocating for the people who are actually interested in playing aggressively with snipers instead of so passive that it just becomes so boring. But yeah, the other thing that they did mention in that tweet that I just want to say a few things about, scope customization. I think this is something that is really needed in snipers. Well, not necessarily needed, but I feel like a lot of the sniper scopes are bland. Like, we've had the same scopes for such a long time, and I feel like by adding either new optics or just a new scope model in general, like if they were to add the old scopes, that would be just brilliantly insane. But yeah, I feel like just more scope customization in general would just make snipers more enjoyable to use. It wouldn't necessarily make them any better, but I would find more enjoyment in using them, and I'm sure a lot of people would, and it would just give them more of an appeal, like you can pretty much, you can put a lot of like, reflex sight, coyote sight. You have so many scope options for autos. You do have those same options for snipers, but it's not really what they're made for. If we had more like variety in sniper scopes specifically, I think that would be a really good change, and I think that would be something that would make me a bit more happy with using the snipers. But yeah, so yeah, that's basically my 2 cents. I don't think there's anything really else I need to say. I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. Like, I know a lot of people have quit the game partly because of snipers, partly because of like just their life in general, but I've even been considering like, maybe it's time for me to head out soon, because I don't feel like I'm being represented enough, and I speak on behalf of most snipers. I think a lot of us will agree with what I've been saying throughout the video, but yeah, that's basically all I had to say. I do want you to consider this. I don't even know if Stylus is going to see this, but I really hope they do. I really want to push that tweet tweet that they said about adding the straight pullable attachment. I think that would be genuinely one of the best updates that this game's ever seen, and I'm just asking for a chance. That's really all I'm asking for. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be the video. Feel free to leave your opinions in the comments, because I'm interested in hearing what you guys think about this. And yeah, that's gonna be it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and once again, I'm sort of sorry for the rant video, but had to be done. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.